get right into it, obviously, like 21 Laps has been kind of known for a lot of, like family-friendly movies, I guess. You're talking about like Cheaper by the Dozen and so on and so forth, and Date Night and Night at the Museum and all that. I'm wondering though, I mean, I think it's safe to say, and I don't, this isn't meant to discredit it or anything, but like Deadpool and Wolverine does not read like a traditional family-friendly movie, I guess. So I'm wondering for you, what was the reason you got involved? Considering that I suppose I'm kind of answering my question, but like it's outside of your own wheelhouse. Was that the reason why you got
Yeah,
involved?
I mean, I got very lucky in my early career by having a lot of movies that became very successful, and they were predominantly in that family comedy, family event space. And then it's really intentional that I wanted to try different types of storytelling. So Real Steel was still family friendly, but was much less of a, not at all a comedy. And obviously things like All the Light We Cannot See and Adam Project and producing Arrival and producing and directing Stranger Things. So I've been trying over the past decade
Yeah,
to use and explore different muscles as a storyteller. And the thing about Deadpool and Wolverine is this really happened organically out of this collaborative brotherhood with Ryan. And Free Guy led to Adam Project, led to this. And it was really fun because what I found is Ryan and Kevin Feige, they wanted the things that they know I do, which is, comedic action with big heart and a lack of cynicism. But I was able now to do it with an audacity of tone and a lot of language, a lot of subversive humor, a lot of blood. But it's interesting to me because even though the movie is R-rated, like Ryan has brought his kids to see this movie repeatedly. All of my daughters, including my 12-year-old, have seen this movie because even though there is an absurdist amount of
sure.
language and violence, it's ultimately yet again a warm-hearted story. And you can only gauge some of that from the 30-something minutes you saw. But uh, it was both a fresh and therefore exciting opportunity for me, but still rooted in the things that I like to do when I make movies.
Yeah. You mentioned there, like, without cynicism, and obviously, like, Deadpool as a character, like Wade Wilson, like, he's so cynical that he can see everything. He can even see the fact that he's in a movie and in a comic. As a writer, I would imagine on the one hand, that's got to be really liberating that the character you're writing can practically see you writing on the page. How is that? I mean, how was that to write it? And I guess how was it to direct it, knowing that this character is that cynical that they can see literally that they're in a film.
Well, I'll say two things. One is, I guess that is a cynical trait, but I guess Wade is never nihilistic.
Sure.
Wade is fundamentally yearning to be better than he is. His love for Vanessa is sincere. His desire, as he says in this movie, to matter, to do something that matters, it's authentic. But you're touching on really something that I think maybe the cornerstone of why this was such a joyous experience. People think the fun of directing Deadpool is the R rating and the language and the violence. The fun of it is making a movie where the protagonist is aware that he's in a movie.
Yeah.
And connects and communicates directly with the audience about the very nature of the thing they're watching. That is the most fun. It's so fun, in fact, that when we were writing, Ryan and I would sometimes have to pull back because it is so delicious to constantly comment on the form that you have to be judicious, because if you're breaking that fourth wall too often, then you don't allow the audience to invest. And
Yeah.
so it's this constant titration of storytelling and then self-awareness about the storytelling.
Yeah. I mean, I loved Logan. I thought Logan was, for my money, I think was one of the best, if not the best, superhero film ever made. And the reason why I think I was so great was because it was more kind of working with the sort of language of Westerns, that sort of way. And obviously The Dark Knight was kind of like a terrorist disaster movie. This feels to me, and I hope this isn't an insult, but it feels to me like a buddy cop movie. Like this kind of that
That
was
is
the vibe.
intentional.
Yeah.
That is very much the paradigm we were exploring.
Were there specific movies that you kind of had in your mind as you were writing and directing that you're kind of like trying to, I guess, slip into the deck, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, it's certainly we invoked Midnight Run, Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Lethal Weapon, 48 Hours. These were all touchstones for us because it is a superhero movie. But what's awesome, and Logan is a masterpiece. I agree with you there. Um, What's awesome about the superhero genre, when people talk about superhero fatigue, I think it fails to acknowledge the fact that it is accommodating to myriad subgenres,
Yeah.
right? Captain America Civil War is kind of like a conspiracy thriller. Logan is obviously a noir Western. The examples go on and on. So the kind of accommodation of subgenres within this umbrella is, I think, unique and fantastic. And so for us, as soon as Hugh called us and says, I'm in, we knew what this movie wanted to be. And that paradigm of the oil and water, odd couple, buddy cop quest movie, that became central to the way we thought about what we were crafting.
Yeah. You've touched on it there about that Hugh Jackman was, you said when he said he was in. I mean, without kind of going into too many specifics, I'm wondering, I mean, what reservations, if any, did he have about going back to this, do you think?
Well, the truth is that this is where our real life friendship is very useful. Hugh knows Ryan and I really well. We all spend a lot of time together when we're not working together. So Hugh knew before he ever made that call, he knows that I have reverence for Logan as a character and a final film. And Ryan has a shared adoration and respect for the legacy of the Wolverine. And so Hugh knew that we were not going to ask him to repeat himself, and we were not going to mess with that legacy. And the hope, and he never had to ask for this because we demanded it of ourselves as screenwriters, is that we would give Hugh meat on the bone and an opportunity to show shadings and colors of this Logan character that we haven't seen over the past 2 decades, that were not quite explored to this same extent in any other Wolverine movie. And one of the things that's been really gratifying, and you're hearing this as we do this press tour, is the fact that Hugh is so proud of this Logan and of this performance. That was our kind of North Star mission, was to deserve Logan. And everything we did was kind of this tireless commitment to crafting a Logan that Hugh could really dig into and deliver on. And I think you'll find when the world sees this movie in just a few weeks that he really, really delivers.
I'm wondering, obviously I'm sure you can't confirm this or not, but I mean, there's been rumors and there's been talk. I've heard there's been talk online that you are possibly maybe directing one of the Avengers movies. I'm not going to ask you to confirm that, but what I will ask you is that making something like Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm wondering, what kind of lessons do you think you would take into the next project, if that next project were to be a Marvel movie, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, thank you for not asking me to confirm or deny. I certainly can confirm that Marvel and I have had a very, very good experience with each other. I'd be shocked if this is the last time we collaborate. We're actually excited about future collaborations. What I would take with me is the freedom from conformity, the freedom to satisfy fans and the audience for these movies, of which I am one, and I have tremendous respect for fellow fans, but to do it in a way that is built on surprise. And again, as I said earlier, I guess taking advantage of the fact that an MCU movie can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
Black Panther is very different from Ragnarok. It's very different from Iron Man. They're just all fucking awesome. And the goal is to make a great movie under this superstructure of legacy, but to do it in a way that feels new and is new in both form and content. And that is something I would take forward with me on all future collaborations.
Don't just stand there, you ape. Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.